Marshmallow Fanboy back with another review, this time of Marvel Legends X-Men Villains 60th Anniversary 5-pack. Whew, that's a lot to say out loud. This set is not an exclusive to anybody. Everybody got it, but I waited for it to go down in price a little bit. The artwork on the front is really cool. And it has a KWL at the bottom. I can't remember who that is, but he's a comic book artist. I'm pretty sure. It's a really cool artwork. It looks really good. The colors look amazing. And of course it has Vertigo and Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy sort of finishes up I don't know if he finishes up the Outback. What are they? The Outback Marauders or something like that? I know Vertigo is a Marauder. I can't remember what Pretty Boy belongs to, but I don't know if he's the latest addition to that or he's the last one you need. Reavers. That's right. I don't know if he's... Whoop. Hit the camera. I don't know if he's the last Reaver you need. I'm not sure. And then there's Stryfe, a.k.a. Nathan Summers, a.k.a. Cable, a.k.a. Jean Grey and Scott Summers' son, / clone of Cable, or... I can't remember. I can't completely remember the history, but he is super cool. And when he busts onto the scene, you're like, oh my gosh, this guy looks sinister. Who is he? Creation by Rob Liefeld there, and as well as Zero, who's in the background here from the Mutant Liberation Front. I don't think we've gotten any Mutant Liberation Front figures. So Zero would be the first of his, and Vertigo would be the second of hers after Sabretooth. But we're still waiting for things like, Riptide and Arclight and Blockbuster and Scalp Hunter and Harpoon, I think. And I can't remember if there was anybody else. But the Marauders were kind of my first big, the Mutant Massacre was my first big crossover as a kid. So I really liked those villains. And having Vertigo is going to be really cool. But also, I was a huge New Mutants fan, and I was losing interest in it before Rob Liefeld came and started introducing a bunch of new characters. And I thought, oh, this is awesome. And Stryfe and Zero are definitely part of that resurgence for me. Random, I don't know anything about. Random's the guy with the gun. He's from a period when I wasn't reading. And I have no interest in figuring out who that guy is. But I acknowledge that he looks pretty cool. He looks like... What is that, Bushwhacker? Where he can make his arm a gun, the Daredevil villain? Anywho, let's take a look at the back. I think I've talked long enough. So, have a little bit of artwork on the side. These are the action figures that are, they're just pictures of the action figures. And that's cool. There's artwork on the side, though. Actual artwork. That's nice. And it's of course, all the artwork is the artwork from the front of the package, which is really cool. It's a nice on the front of the package. I like this a lot. This tells you exactly what's in it, even though there's no window. It's Marvel's Random, shows him complete as is. Zero with the effect, the Doctor Strange Secret Defender effect. Secret Defender? No, he's just Defender Strange. The Defender Strange effect, the hole that the magic users step through. And it comes with an extra pair of hands, sort of motioning hands. There's Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy has weapons. He has blast effects. He has smoke effects. He has an extra pair of hands. Vertigo just has an extra pair of hands. And Stryfe has just an extra pair of hands. Of course, I say just an extra pair of hands for Stryfe but he already has just a bulked out suit that looks like it could really hurt you if you try to grab it out of a toy box. So, let's just see the top of that. Let's see 60 years of X-Men. Very cool. So, why don't we bust this open and see what we think of the Marvel Legends X-Men Villains 5-pack for the 60th anniversary. Now that they're out of the package, let's take a closer look at the Marvel Legends series X-Men 60th anniversary Villains 5-pack. I'm not going to go over the articulation. It's about what you would expect. So if you're expecting, I'll go over a little bit of some articulation. At least I'll comment on things like double pin knees and things like that. But for the most part, it's about what you'd expect. There's probably reuse of sculpting on Stryfe. He looks a lot like the other Stryfe from, I think it was a Toys R Us exclusive wave, or I can't remember what it was, but looks very similar. I didn't get that. It was exclusive, extremely difficult to get. Stryfe has, well, since I'm starting with him, let's pull him forward. He has Batman nipples for some reason. I don't know if it was on the artwork on the box. I didn't comment on it. I thought, it's very unlikely it's on the actual figure. And then there it is. It sure is. It's a little bit of spiky stuff, which I imagine going through Amazon might have been sort of a way to say, you know what, this one has a lot of sharp objects to it. It's not going to fly with a 4 and older sticker. So we're going to have to make this for collectors. And the way to do that, it might have been to go through Amazon so that they could say, well, we're not sending this to the toy aisles because it's, it's sharp down here. It's very stiff. It's really nice. It's not really rubbery plastic anywhere. Let me make sure that's true. Let me check here. Ow. Ow. That's a little rubbery. And ow. That's a little rubbery, but not enough to not, hurt somebody. But very cool because it is sharp, because it is really nice. I don't know. Did I just say that it was really nice because it's really sharp? That'd be weird, right? It's really nice because you could really hurt somebody with this. So lots of sharp features on him. Comes with all the bladed mask on the side. That's rubbery. That will be very rubbery in your... However you store him, you got to be careful not to bend that. The cape, really nice, sort of comes right out of the shoulder and drapes down. That is very cool. The color on it, the sort of the dull silver on most of the armor, but sort of a bluish hue to the stuff that isn't directly armored, isn't as armored, is kind of a nice color difference to him. In addition to these hands, he also has 2 fists. He's very cool. He's very tall. I think he towers over most of the other figures in the wave, except for maybe Random. Random looks like he's the biggest. But that is Stryfe. From the Marauders, we have the second Marauder figure. I think Sabretooth might have been a late addition to the team. I think he was revealed at the end of one of the episodes as working, or one of the comic book issues as working with the Marauders. I don't know if he was actually ever a Marauder, though. I think, technically Mr. Sinister was a Marauder, but that wasn't revealed until later, I don't think. So, Vertigo is one of those front wave Marauders that we saw immediately that was just shredding the X-Men and just decimating the Morlocks. Just a really big jerk. She's got swirls all over her, which of course you can break if you sort of rotate her, or you use thigh swivel, use the thigh swivel on it. It can break the patterns, but the patterns are really cool. Pretty simple, but comic book accurate as far as I can remember. She had the swirly patterns and everything. Of course, the green hair and everything. I think the upswept hair might be like a phoenix head, maybe. Can't be like Polaris or a Viper or Madam Hydra, rather, because that'd be too obvious, and it could be a Susan Storm. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing. But in addition to the hands that she has on her, which are kind of manipulating hands or signaling hands, she has 2 fists with her also, and that is Vertigo. Hopefully, we get more Marauder figures as the year goes on. It's X-Men 60th anniversary. I think they're focusing a lot on Wolverine, which is smart. Wolverine's extremely popular. I get that. But I hope that we get more Marauders. Now let's go over Zero, who comes with this cool portal, which we first saw with Defender Strange, which was a Target exclusive. If I remember right, it was a Target exclusive. And I think since then, there was another portal that came out with another character. I can't remember if that's accurate or not. It seems like it was only Defender Strange that came with a portal, but I'm just not sure. But this is very cool portal for Zero. Zero, of course, if I remember right, he's a completely silent villain. Just sort of shows up with the portal and teleports his people away. So I don't know what the story is on the silent guy or why he's kind of aligned with the bad guys, but he is. Zero, for whatever reason, I've never seen him do kind of anything but very posable body, but that could have just been that they were reusing maybe Spider-Man or something. I'm not sure. Double pin. Oh, there's a two holes, so one backpack and one maybe cape. So this might have been a caped figure before. So they're using the buck, reusing the buck from something, but I'm not sure. I put the sort of directional hands on him, but he came with fists. So if you like him with fists, just take him out of the package. He's already got the fists on. And that is Zero. As for Random, like I said up top, I don't know anything about him. He's not, a character that I read because I wasn't reading it back then. There are a couple books I wasn't sort of reading at different times, and I never got a sense of who this guy was, or I don't think I read anything with him in it. But it's a really cool design. The leather jacket, he's very close to kind of being kind of a mutant Lobo with the high top boots, which have really cool buckles in the back. The buckles are nicely colored. They have the buckles are silver, and then of course the thing across his boot that he could kick you with is a shinier silver than the buckles. And that's really cool. He's got the jeans with a nice jean texture, and that's really well done. The belt is really nicely well done, and the jacket is really sculpted real well and just adds a lot of character. I don't know if it goes to another character, but it could absolutely go to Lobo too. He's got kind of the do-rag with the bands on the back, like kind of like a soldier, sort of. And he's got the tattoos, the snake with the coils wrapped around his bicep, and a heart, maybe? I don't know what that is. But he's got barbed wire wrapped around a bicep, which is just bad. Everything about him screams that you don't want to ever run into him anywhere. He's got the 3 cannons. The cannons are hollow. So I don't know if there's if you got a HasLab Sky Striker and it has a blast effect, if you could plug one of the giant blast effects into one of his portholes and have giant blast effects coming out of there. I don't know, but there's no other reason to have it sort of hollow, unless that's just the way it was in the comics when he would walk around with it. Maybe, I don't know. The sunglasses don't come off; they're molded on under the do-rag, so that's nice. Her dour expression. Like I said, this guy's very close to Lobo, but he's not Lobo. He's Marvel Mutant Lobo. So that is Marvel Mutant Lobo. Last but not least, it's Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy has got a handsome visage. Of course, it's angry right now, but handsome for what it was back in the 90s. He's got 2 pistols, one sort of machine pistol, one sort of pistol with a silencer that still could be an automatic pistol. Not sure. Has a smoke effect. He has 2 smoke effects, so you can make the smoke effect come out of both guns. And he has 2 blast effects that plug into either gun. So he could be firing with both guns, or both guns can be smoking. He also comes with 2 fists. And let me show you the 2 fists and the effects that aren't being used. Which are right here. So you have an extra smoke effect, extra blast effect. He's got the fists. The blast effects are cool. I don't remember him shooting kind of green or blue, or the smoke coming out green or blue. And of course, the smoke is a different color than the blast. So the smoke is kind of this lightish blue, And the blast is sort of a dark green, which is really cool. The sculpt on Pretty Boy is really nice, too, which is probably why he came out so sort of last. I mean, there's a lot of sculpting that needed to be due to bring Pretty Boy to life. He wasn't just a head swap on a body. He had to have everything sort of engineered, from the gears and everything kind of around his neck. The sort of part of his neck and his face are the only things remaining that are human. Of course, the torso, completely robotic. Really nice sculpting throughout, but this is probably one of the only ones in the 5-pack, or if not the only one, that is 100% new sculpt, because they had to. There wasn't really any choice with Pretty Boy. So he's probably the reason for the pack. Zero, probably repaint, and Vertigo, probably repaint. There's not a lot of sculpting to them. They probably did get, for Zero's head, maybe a Spider-Man, and they just painted a masked head completely white with a Zero in it. Stryfe might have been the previous version of Stryfe, punched up a little bit, with maybe some of the materials a little more solid. And Random, I don't know, he could have been a different character, and maybe they threw a jacket on it, and they just replaced the part of his arm that wasn't a gun, and maybe the pants and the legs are somebody else. I can't think about that, but the head is probably absolutely a brand new sculpt. But Pretty Boy, there's just too much different with him, and maybe that's what they're doing now. Is they're thinking, if I'm going to go out of my way to sculpt one completely new character from scratch, I'm going to need to sell it with 4 figures you've already seen before. And not 4 figures you've already seen, but 4 figures that we don't have to do a lot of sculpting on. Because I'm sure they did sculpting on Random. Positive, but I don't think they did any new sculpting for anybody else. That's just my opinion. I'm not absolutely sure. Hopefully that some of that was true. But it's just my opinion. So don't, blow me up for it. That's just mean. And I have no idea. But Pretty Boy is he's extremely different. And I don't know how that would be possible if we didn't sell a bunch of figures that sort of justified his existence. And of course, like I said, or maybe I didn't say it up front, but I got it on sale. So that strategy's not working super well. You kind of have to give us somebody that we want with brand new sculpting before you sort of drop somebody in the package that we kind of don't want that has all new sculpting. Because you could still do a character that has all brand new sculpting and go, here's this character, but in order to bring you this character, I also brand newly made Pretty Boy also. So these 2 figures are completely brand new, and these 3 are repaints, but they're really cool. I don't object to the repaints. I think that I want a Zero. I think a Zero is cool. I like a Stryfe. I missed him the last time he was out. I like a Vertigo. Like I said, 2nd member, or 3rd member if you count Mr. Sinister, and now I'm starting to count Mr. Sinister. But Marauder was one of those tunnel assailants that sort of shredded the team when they went up against them directly. She was super deadly, very dangerous, and I haven't seen her in decades. For that matter, I haven't seen Pretty Boy in decades. I haven't seen Stryfe in a while either. Zero, I haven't seen since Rob Liefeld left X-Force. I haven't seen Zero. And I don't know if Zero was an MLF, Mutant Liberation Front member before it became New Mutants or while it was New Mutants. So take that for what it is. But this is a really good set. They're really good figures. It doesn't matter sort of how they came to be. But the fact that we're getting unique figures instead of repaints of existing figures, even though I am acknowledging that some of the bases are existing figures, existing bucks, but new characters painted on top of it. I acknowledge that, but it's not like we're getting Wolverine with a slightly more brown or more yellow paint job and one more accessory, something like that. So it's a good 5-pack. Lots of, 4 completely unique characters. Stryfe we've already gotten. Stryfe you might have, but the rest of them extremely unique. So until next time, enjoy your toys.